A whites-only town is being built in Arkansas. I didn't see this.
Meet Eric Arvell, co-founder of a group called RTTL Return to the Land. Sounds peaceful, right? Nah. This man and a few other white families have snatched up 150 acres in Arkansas and some land in Missouri. All for one reason: segregation. If you're white, you're welcome. If you're black, don't bother applying. Jewish out? Asian? Nope. Gay? Definitely not. If you're not white, straight, and Christian, you don't qualify. That's the criteria. Sick, ain't it? So recently, Eric Arvell pops up in a TMZ interview, TMZ of all places, trying to explain why he and his crew of sunburnt settlers are building a whites-only paradise. The interview was long-winded, but let's just say this: he tried to sound smart while dodging the obvious. Isn't that racist? They asked, and he pulls the oldest trick in the book, playing dumb. Well, I don't really know what you mean by racist. Oh, come on. You know damn well what racist means. He goes on to say, look, I don't think there's anything morally wrong with valuing race, but we all heard what he meant. We value our race, not yours. That's the real translation. Then he tries to add a little sprinkle of logic, like mistreating people because of their race is wrong, sure, but his entire mission is built on that. He says they just want to be left alone. But what he's really saying is, we don't. Want y'all around? That's the message. And sadly, it ain't subtle. The interviewer spins it around, tries another angle. Aren't you devaluing others by uplifting your own? And Arvell hits M with the most backhanded TED Talk nonsense you ever heard. Well, to be something, you have to not be the other thing. Translation: to be white, I can't be you. To value whiteness, I have to devalue everyone else. He even drags Jewish identity into it, like that somehow makes it deeper. Nah, bro, that's not philosophy. That's just racism with a thesaurus. He tries to dress it up like it's about self-love. Nah, it's about exclusion. It's about erasing people who don't fit into their cornfield fantasy. This logic don't hold, because black, gay, Christian, Muslim, you can be many things at once. But in his utopia, you can only be one thing: white and proud. That's it. That's all. And believe it or not, some people are co-signing this madness. Trump opened the door. And ever since, these folks been building houses on hate y'all. Been seeing it, they ain't even hiding it now. Racism has surged since Trump. And this new white-only town, it's just the latest form of it. Somewhere out in Missouri, maybe the Ozarks. I don't know. Only Ozark I know is on Netflix. But they out there building whole damn neighborhoods just for white folks. And one white creator on TikTok, bro, was shook. I'm talking jaw on the floor. It's 2025. We still doing this? Yes, sir. Apparently. We are dot. Yes, the underscore. They should. And matter of fact, please build more. Build as many as you want. That way, we know exactly who the hell not to deal with. Make it easy for us. See people like this black woman on TikTok. She's not mad. She's relieved. She's saying what a lot of us are thinking. Go ahead and go. And honestly, I respect that. You want to separate yourself, then separate. But don't hide it behind no flag or fake smile. Be bold about it. And look, I'm not even clapping for their racist beliefs. I'm clapping because for once they're saying it with their whole chest. No sneaky code words. No pretending they're not racist, just traditional. Nah, they're out here saying, we don't like you, and we don't want to live near you. And frankly, good, because I'd rather you say it to my face than be one of these folks smiling in my face and calling me slurs behind my back. Be racist out loud. Let us know. But of course, now comes the reaction. Some parts of the black community are big mad. They're in shambles because a group called Return to the Land is building whites-only towns in Arkansas and Missouri. Now, don't get it twisted, Dime. Not co-signing segregation. I'll live next to anybody who treats me with respect. But let's not act like we haven't been doing our own form of self-segregation for years. Facts are facts. We've had our own spaces too. And here's where it gets messier. Remember Ashley Scott and Renee Walters? A few years back, they got together and bought land to start a black town. The mission: build black generational wealth, preserve culture, and stay united. Nobody batted an eye. So now, when white folks want to do it, y'all mad. Let me guess. You're about to drag up history, right? Oppression, Jim Crow, all that? Nah, not today. We're talking about the now. Let's keep it in the now. So both these, black creators on TikTok are basically saying white people have just as much right to isolate as we do. And at first glance, that argument does sound logical. It sounds balanced. Like if we can do it, why can't they? But here's the problem, the why, the reason behind it. When black folks create their own towns, it's to escape oppression. When white folks do it, it's to escape us. That's a massive difference. Don't play dumb.c. White folks moving out to these isolated towns ain't about freedom from tyranny. They're not scared of police brutality. They're not being locked out of jobs or schools. They're just tired of us. And they'll say stuff like, the system failed because of gays and woke people and pronouns. That ain't oppression. That's whining. When black towns like Mound Bayou in Mississippi were created, it was to survive literal violence. That's history, not a victim card. Mound Bayou wasn't built out of hate, it was built out of necessity. The same with Black Wall Street in Tulsa. The same with Haiti, North Carolina. All those communities were built because we were being excluded. So we said, cool, we'll build our own. That's not segregation, that's survival. But when y'all do it, it's because you don't want your kids playing with ours. It's not the same. Stop acting like it is. And eventually, we all know how it played out. Mount Bayou, Haiti, in North Carolina. Tulsa Lovem ended up facing the exact thing black folks were trying to avoid. Destruction. They were thriving, independent, and self-sufficient. And white folks still burned them down. Let's be real, these white people building towns today are not oppressed. Meanwhile, black Americans are still leaving the U.S. out of fear. And whether you agree with that fear or not, it's real and it's valid. I live on the continent of Africa. I know plenty of pro-black Americans who left the U.S. behind because they didn't feel safe. Not because they hate America, but because they didn't trust it. They believed Africa offered them more opportunity and more peace. That's why many black folks have built their own communities from Atlanta to Ghana. Not because they think they're better than anyone else, but because they're tired of fighting to be seen as equal. And that's where the comparison falls apart. Because what black folks are doing and what these whites are doing, it's not the same thing, not even close. When black people build towns, it's for survival. When these white folks build towns, it's about exclusion, superiority, a belief that their culture is somehow above the rest. That's not preservation. That's supremacy with a fresh coat of paint. That's why comparing the two is not just wrong, it's reckless. But wait, there's more. Eric Arville is very active on X, formerly Twitter, and he's been busy. He wrote, "We've been blown away by the support. White Americans want and deserve our own spaces." Okay, cool. But then he drops his Ethereum and Bitcoin links like a GoFundMe grifter. If you use Ethereum or USDC, here's how you can donate. Excuse me. So segregation costs money now. You want to be racist? On a budget. This is the wild part. Our black ancestors didn't have the luxury of begging for Bitcoin donations to build Tulsa. They worked. They saved. They built banks, schools, churches, hospitals without handouts. Nobody sent them crypto. There was no Twitter back then to crowdfund safety. They funded their own futures. Meanwhile, Mr. Arville wants to separate himself from society, but still wants society to foot the damn bill. Sounds more like a broke cult leader than a revolutionary. And here's where it gets extra messy. While black folks who want to live abroad in places like Ghana or Uganda are saving every dollar, working multiple jobs, reinvesting, and building from the ground up, Eric Arville is tweeting and panhandling, talking about white-only utopias, while begging people to sponsor the dream. Ain't that something? When we separated, we earned it. When y'all separate, you beg for it. That's the difference. And it's loud. Now, let's talk about those 150 acres of land. You can own all the fields in Arkansas and Missouri, but if you ain't got no skill or value to offer the world, then what's the point? And honestly, that's exactly the vibe Mr. Arville gives. Off, he fits the mold, angry, underskilled, and convinced the world owes him something. I'm not saying he's a loser, but I'm definitely saying he ain't a winner. Because even other white folks who think like him, they still don't want to be around him. And that says a lot. You see, even hardcore racists have standards. If you bring nothing to the table, not money, not skills, not leadership, they want nothing to do with you. And that's what this whole return to the land thing smells like. A bunch of broke dudes with criminal records, no resumes, and a dream. To live out in the woods like it's Red Dead Redemption. Let's be real. Nobody leaving Wall Street to go pitch a tent next to Eric in the damn Ozarks. So honestly, if these dusty men want to disappear into the middle of nowhere, let them, please. I wish them all the luck in the world and hope they enjoy every square inch of that cracked dirt. I hope they find love with women who also think toothpaste is a government plot. I hope they grow their own food, get solar panels, and sing white nationalist lullabies by the campfire. Because, let's face, it's going to fall apart anyway. It always does, and here's what really stings. All over the world, you got ethnic groups preserving their culture without isolating themselves. Look at Indians. They move to the US, build wealth, maintain tradition, and still function in society. Somalians do it. Nigerians do it. Hell, they even do it right here in Uganda. These communities stay tight-knit, but they don't run to the hills screaming, "I'm oppressed." Why? Because they actually have something to offer, like Arvel and his Lost Boys. So yeah, while the rest of the world is networking, evolving, and building global legacies, Eric is panhandling for Bitcoin in a dried-up cornfield. Sad, but if that's what they want, more power to them. It just proves the difference between building a legacy and building a compound. So what do you think? It's your boy, Osha Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Like the video, hit the bell, and as always, peace out.